taking a drive in my 968. Just picked this thing up. Bought it off BAT, the auction site, and this car is basically a brand new car. It's a 1995. It has just turned over to 24,000 miles. I've put a few hundred on it, I think, since I picked it up, and it's just a fantastic car. It's different. I have a 911, have had a couple of 911s and a Cayman, and it's just a different feel. I mean, being a front engine water-cooled car, it handles a little bit different. It revs different. The power band is a little bit different. It's not super snappy off the line, but once you get it up past 4,000 RPMs, it really starts to wake up. And part of that is because of this VarioCam situation that they have in the motor, which at the time that this thing was built, it was probably the most powerful 4-cylinder built in the day. But it drives really nice. It's nice and smooth. The cool thing about these cars I've found is that there aren't that many of them. I mean, there are only a few thousand that were ever built and imported to the US. And in the short time I've been driving this around, people think it's a brand new car, and it's because you just don't see them out and about. What attracted me to this car is it was just in such great condition. It's a concourse winner. The fellow that had it before had taken it to a number of concourse shows, and I think he won his class a couple of times and maybe a couple of second places, but it's almost perfect. There's nothing wrong with the body, nothing wrong with the interior. Everything works as it should. The only thing that I don't like is it has an aftermarket radio with Bluetooth and XM satellite and all that, which it's great. I mean, for some people, not my thing. After putting a few miles on this car, I've discovered that typically in just driving around town, you hardly ever get out of 4th gear. I mean, that would be the highest that you go. Now on the highway, I get up to 5th and then even maybe sometimes 6th, but you really don't need it. It's like having 2 overdrive gears. And in comparison to my flat 6 911 Carrera 4, this car gets tremendous mileage. It just doesn't burn gas. I know it's a 4-cylinder and it's a little bit smaller, but man, it's such a huge difference, and it's kind of nice. Car shifts great. Everything works. When I did pick it up, the AC just needed a recharge, so I did that. All the service has been done on this car and maintained very, very well. The belts, tensioners, water pump have all been replaced recently. I've seen cars online, 968 cars with well over 200,000 miles and still running strong. This is a convertible. I've got the top up right now, and it's pretty quiet in here. One of the things that I was concerned with when I got it, and I thought I would need to get, was a windscreen that goes behind the seats to block the wind, to keep your hair from being buffeted around. But you really don't need it because you sit so low in the car, and the seats are high, and the trunk lid, deck lid back there is so high that you barely get any wind. So I'm not going to worry about that, even if I could find one. I think there are a couple of aftermarket companies that do make them, but I think they're $300 or $400. And the Porsche, the original Porsche one, I think I found one in Great Britain, an original one, but it was pretty pricey, so I think I'm going to avoid that. does run on premium gas, which is no big deal because it barely burns any. Air conditioner is blowing cold. It feels nice. No cup holders. And because this is a convertible, there aren't any seats back there. But what you do get is a couple of little glove boxes, that lockable boxes in the back where you can put things. What I think is kind of neat about these cars, of course, they derive from the 924 and then the 944, and then they did the 968, and it's sort of a combination of a 944, and they took some aspects of a 928 with the pop-up headlights and body panels and a lot of the rubberized bumpers they use too, which looks kind of cool. Makes it look very unique. I think collectability of these cars is starting to really pop up a little bit because they are so rare, especially cars that are in good shape like this one and with lower miles. I don't think that I've seen one below 25,000 miles other than this one and one other car that sold on BAT just recently in really great shape. A lot of guys would take these cars because of the way they handle and drive, take these cars and turn them into track cars, which really makes sense. I mean, 944 makes a perfect track car, and because of the weight distribution with these cars and the way they handle, it's a great idea. And in fact, if I ever learned to drive, that may be something I would do. Not with a 968. Always my luck. I get stuck behind somebody on this nice little stretch of road. Just a lot of fun. This car is really so balanced, easy to drive. They did make a Tiptronic, the Porsche automatic, and I think at the time, in '95, it was the first automatic that could be a manual shift as well. Oh no, I'm behind trucks. Could be a manually shifted as well. You pop it over to the right-hand side and you could shift it almost like a 6-speed. think that if you are looking for something a little bit out of the ordinary, not your normal Porsche, the rarity of these cars is going to make them very attractive to a lot of folks. And this one being so low mileage, it's collector grade, I think. The prices are popping up, getting higher all the time, and this would be one to keep and watch it appreciate, I think. Hope you enjoyed that little drive.